its value is that in many ways, and I think Mark's talk really pointed this out, that practice is not really something we can plan for. Our practice is about meeting the moment that we find ourselves in, as simple as that. And as Mark said, sometimes that moment can be quite overwhelming. We don't know what to do. We know we have this teaching of correct situation, correct relationship, and correct function. That's a wonderful teaching, and it points us in a direction. But do we really know how to find that? When we talk about correct situation, we're talking about clarity, not tainted by our own personal likes and dislikes. We can talk about that. How often do you actually find that moment where you can, let's say at best, separate your likes and dislikes, your particular need, your particular desire from the situation itself? Remember, our basic teaching is that our thinking creates our reality. And if we actually want to see truth, we move to what we call before thinking. Theoretically, we all understand that. And maybe when things are easygoing, it's kind of possible to do that. But in the middle of a board meeting where everybody's fighting with each other, or when you're in a personal or a work situation where the energy starts to rise, we just kind of get triggered. And in that triggered place, it's very hard to see the way we're shaping reality. So the first step of our practice is come back to primary point, come back to before thinking. That's actually experiential. That's not theoretical. So we have tools we can use. So the first thing to do is notice that you're perhaps overwhelmed. Notice that you're angry. Notice that you're hurt. Notice that you feel uncentered. Take a second and become aware. You know, for me, I can feel the energy rise into my chest. Mark was talking about his breath being up here. But if you're aware that your breath is up here, that's a good signal to pay attention and maybe be a little careful. If you're in that kind of situation, you may not be able to find it. But I know for myself, when I feel it up here, I immediately start working in my lower abdomen. I start slowing my breath down, and I start trying to feel that rising and falling of my belly. The diaphragm pushes down and goes out. So to be aware enough in the midst of the situation to find that breath, to find, now we come to see, to find your center. Your center is down in your lower abdomen. So that bringing your breath down, bringing your attention downward is our practice. And I'm not suggesting it's easy. And I'm not even suggesting it's easy to kind of split your attention from what's happening in the moment and finding your breath. But if you work with it, you can find it. We call it practice for a reason. If you give up because it's difficult, then you'll never find it.